Good afternoon everyone. Well, what a hot and sticky July day it is today. And I'm thinking about making something nice for tea. I must be mad thinking of doing some baking. Well, it doesn't matter because today I'm going to make a delicious no-cook tea time treat. I've got a special visitor today. My lovely youngest daughter is coming home from university and she's done so well that we're going to give her a really lovely celebration tea for when she arrives. Now the recipe I'm doing I've got from this little booklet that my niece has sent me. She married a Northern Irish lad and has moved out there to Belfast, and this is a compilation of recipes that have been put together by the Association of Friends of the Royal Victoria Hospital, Belfast. Everybody has contributed different recipes to put together this lovely little book. Unfortunately though, you do have to be a little bit careful because of course the recipes submitted into books like this, although for a very good cause, to raise funds for the hospital, as every scrap of profit from the sale of the booklets goes towards hospital funds, they are of course people's best recipes and therefore aren't always very light on the rations. In fact, the one I'm preparing today is a little heavy on those rations, but for that special occasion of my daughter's homecoming, I think it's worth it. So the recipes in this book really aren't for everyday use, but for those special occasions when a really tasty recipe is needed. And of course it's so good to support our hospitals. They are doing such a tremendous job. Not only are they still doing the normal things that they would be doing day to day, but of course they're working so hard doubly to try and cope with the crisis that's upon us and is affecting them as well. So to support our hospitals is a very good thing to do. So let's get started. Now, rather than putting the oven on and making the kitchen very, very hot today, I'm just going to very quickly cook this recipe for a few minutes on top of the stove. So I'm putting the ingredients straight into the saucepan. Now first of all, I'm going to pop in 4 ounces of margarine. Yes, I know that that's one person's week's ration, but this is, as I say, a special day today. I'm also going to add some sugar. Now 3 ounces of sugar, again rather a heavy use of our sugar, but this recipe is not one that you'll be using on a regular occasion, so it's worth it just for that special treat. So pop in 3 ounces of sugar. Now I've also been down to Mr. Smith's and I've bought some broken biscuits. Now I wouldn't normally buy biscuits at the shop, but I do now and then buy some broken biscuits because they are only half the points value of a normal amount of biscuits. So of course, instead of being 4 points a pound of sweet biscuits only uses 2 points. And I bought a pound and I'm going to use in this recipe half a pound of those broken biscuits. Dear old Mr. Smith has been a bit poorly lately and his wife is trying to run the little shop all on her own. We do hope he'll be getting better soon. Now with those broken biscuits, do crumble them up so that they're quite small. If they're largish bits of biscuit, we don't want huge lumps in this recipe, so give them just a sort of extra breaking up with your fingers. You do want to keep some lumps in there because that gives it a lovely crunchy texture, but try to break them into smaller pieces. Now that's done, and I'm going to add that to the saucepan, as well. Now I'm also going to add some cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and then finally I'm going to add 1 reconstituted dried egg. So I'm going to pop in to a little bowl a dried egg, 1 tablespoon, and I'm going to add to that the 2 tablespoons of lukewarm water. Now if you don't have any dried egg left, but you're lucky like me to have some chickens, you could use a beaten shell egg instead. I must say at this time of the year I do regret having the pig and the chickens in the garden. It brings in so many flies into the house. I really don't know what to do with them. I've tried putting all those herbs, the lavender and the basil all around the back door and in the kitchen, but they're still coming in. Sometimes I look forward to the winter, the flyless winter. Now there's my reconstituted dried egg, and I'm going to pour that into the saucepan too. And now I'm going to take this over to the stove, heat it just until the egg is cooked through. That will just be a few minutes or so. Cook it slowly for a few minutes once it's all melted, just to make sure that the egg is cooked. Now when it's cooked through, put it into a shallow tin and leave it to cool. Like so. Now when that's cool, it's going to be delicious. Chocolate chewy fingers. My daughter Annie will love that. I'm going to serve them with my other tea time treats for when my daughter comes home. If you've got the rations for this, they're delicious.